Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Daily Anime Talk, where I go over some of the more recent episodes of anime that's been on. For this episode, I'm going to be looking at the episodes that were on Monday and Tuesday. And just before we start, I'm just going to say if you do like the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to keep up with all the new videos, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Okay, and the first thing I watched was Ascendance of a Bookworm, episode 30. Mine, Ferdinand, the knights, and the newly introduced priest, Sylvester, begin their trip from estate to estate to meet farmers and give their blessings. They are kept busy and are constantly on the move to each location. While spending the night at one of the estates, Sylvester continues to annoy Mine and at one point asks to have her cooks, but they are preparing for the new restaurant, so is adamantly against it. They continue on the trip, but Ferdinand tells Mine to cover her face at the next location, as the person is close to the malicious head priest. While staying overnight at the next location, kidnappers break in looking for Mine, but are chased off. They believe it has something to do with the individual they met that was close to the head priest, but they both killed themselves before they could get any answers. Mine and everyone are concerned. As they continue their trip, they witness their companions being attacked by some dark force, so Mine jumps into action and puts a wind barrier around them so the attacks cannot get close. The knights seem to defeat the attackers, and Mine protects the carriages but runs out of mana. When Mine wakes up, Ferdinand reprimands her for being reckless and quick to action. This is a really cool episode. We get to see Mine in full action when she's got a target in front of her, because usually she's been put to the back and told to not get too involved, but obviously there's not many of them there. There's like 6 of them altogether, so they all have to be involved somehow. So it was good to see Mine put her full powers into use. She put up a huge barrier and basically no one could touch them. All the it looked like farmers, but I'm not too sure. And then the knights went off and chased off whatever was in charge of them. They chased them off, and then the barrier went and they saved them all, but Mine ran out of mana. So that was all good. We get to see some of the evil characters that might be involved, like the head priest's allies, and Mine has to hide all the time. She had to put a scarf on her head to hide. That was cool. We get to see more world building. And I'm interested to see how the rest of this trip goes, because it was a pretty standard episode. It was like, go from this place to this place, give a prayer, so there wasn't too much action except for the end bit, so that was cool though. So I'm looking forward to see if they're going to go straight back home or they're going to go on more trips. So I imagine they might go to 1 or 2 more and then return back to the main city. So it should be a good next episode overall to see how Mine's journey continues. Okay, and then the other episode I watched was I'm Quitting Heroing, episode 5. Leo, Echidna, Steina and Lily find out that Melnez and Edwald have left believing they have failed and don't deserve to serve anymore. Melnez saying he's leaving on a journey, and Edwald saying he will take his own life as penance. Leo decides to go after Melnez and finds him at a nearby lake, so he starts chatting with him to find out what's wrong. To Leo's surprise, the reason he was leaving was because he had to do interviews, so wanted to find a way to better communicate with people. Leo and Melnez make a deal that if he stays, he will show him how to communicate better. Back at the castle, the others found Edwald actually trying to stab himself, but his armoured body broke most of the swords. To now help, Leo takes Melnez in disguise down to the mess hall to watch and learn how people talk to each other. Leo even gets Melnez to take some orders from customers to start off. Things are going okay, with Melnez starting to learn, but some rowdy customers get to Melnez, so he beats them up. Leo praises him because before that, Melnez spoke softly and offered the menu, so he was starting to understand. To round off the day, Leo has a little back and forth with Melnez and says he can ask him anything, so Melnez asks him why he really joined the demon army. This is a really cool episode. We get to see one of the other generals. We've obviously met Steina and Lily, and now we get to see Melnez. We've got the first 3, and then we got Edwald to round off the generals. So for this episode, we get Melnez, who's a bit of a shy character because he's an assassin. So he was told to never be close with anyone and never to be comforted or show emotion or anything. So he's always been a character that didn't want to be involved, but his job now is to interview people. He has no idea what to do. So he's now joining with Leo to try and come up with a way to become more of a chatty person. And Leo thought the best way to do that was to get him right in the trenches, talking with people in the mess hall, finding out what they usually talk about when they're in their comfort zones. And it was really cool to see, because Melnez obviously is a shy character, and we get to see him open up a bit more, and he became a bit more trusting, I guess, of Leo, because before he was a bit, you saw in a flashback that when they were battling originally, he wanted him to kill him, and he obviously doesn't like humans, so they're obviously becoming a bit closer, maybe even friends, you'd say. So I imagine that will build up that set of three, with the first two generals being okay with Leo now, and then we'll get Edwald, and I imagine all four generals will be on good terms with Leo, and then we'll get the main Echidna, the Demon Lord, who will make it all round good, and they'll all be friends, but we'll see. I'm sure it was going to be a tough journey for them all. But yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to the next episode. Okay, and that's all I watched. There were only 2 episodes on Monday and Tuesday, so it wasn't that much to cover, but I enjoyed both episodes overall. So, yeah, if there's anything you can suggest, any other series, make sure to comment that down below. And yeah, make sure to like if you enjoyed listening and hearing about these new episodes, and make sure to subscribe to keep up with all the other uploads I'll be doing. But until next time, I'll see you later.